Hey YouTube, it's me Mila. I just wanted to do an update on my hair since it's been a minute. I think it's been a couple months since my last update. So what's been going on for my hair? I just had a retightening on the 24th, and it was definitely needed. My birthday's coming up, June 3rd. So I wanted to push back my original retightening date, so that my hair would be fresh. So my retightening was supposed to be May 9th, and I pushed it back until the 24th. And you would think that just a 2-week time span, the 9th to the 24th, I think is like 2 weeks, so maybe a little bit over 2 weeks, and you'd think it wouldn't be much of a problem, but it was really an issue, y'all. It was like, whew, my hair was a mess. I had called my consultant like a week before the 9th to see if I could push it back, and she was like, okay, that's fine. She's like, but you have to religiously braid and band. Like she was like, for serious. Like you really, you have to braid and band. Like do not, be lazy about it. And I'm not. I always, every time I wash my hair, I braid and band anyways, because I don't want any slippage, and I try to follow the guidelines, because if anything bad happens to my hair, I don't want it to be because of neglect or me not doing what I was supposed to do. So I always braid and band. So I said, oh, that's not an issue. I always do. Anyway, she said, okay. And I guess she has clients that don't do that. So she was telling me that she has some clients that their hair is looking like, please save me. So she was happy with my, the way my locks are looking. So I was happy about that. As far as, me maintaining them and taking care of them and whatnot. But the amount of hair that I had, like loose hair, it was extremely puffy. I had like an inch and a half to some places 2 inches of hair, loose hair before my, the Sisterlock part. I couldn't do, I wore it just like this. I hadn't been doing any styles. Not that I had time. I just finished school on Friday. I had my last exam on Friday. So, I wasn't doing anything but spraying it with my mixture of sea breeze or witch hazel and a little bit of rose water, and that's it. Sometimes I would put some lavender oil in there if I wanted. I don't know what I wanted, but so yeah, that's it. I would just shake and go and keep it moving. But I love when my hair is retightened, but that extra 2 weeks was just crucial, because even just like raking my fingers through it, like right now I can rake my fingers through my locks and nothing gets snagged. But during that time, it was a hot mess, because my hair would pretty much like, sprawl together. Before I wouldn't have to, after I washed my hair, braided and banded, and undid the braids, I wouldn't have to separate each lock. It would stay separated. I didn't have to do that. I could still kind of run my fingers through it and separate it that way. But before my appointment, I had just washed my hair, and I had to find myself like popping some of the locks, because they were just like, all that extra hair was just really trying to form into one huge thing. So massive connective web. So I will definitely be keeping up with my locking appointments, and that extra 2 weeks will just never ever occur again unless something drastic happens. But I was just not feeling it at all. But other than that, I mean, with all that loose hair, I don't know, I can't really tell a difference in length. I mean, maybe you guys can see a difference. Maybe it's because I look at my hair every day, I can't really tell if it's really growing that much. But I'm happy with it. I have some budding going on. This is I don't know if I mentioned it, but I've been locked for 4 months now. January 21st was my first lock. Was the first one I got it locked, and now it's the 29th, so a week, 4 months and a week. And I'm happy with the progress as far as it's starting to settle. Doesn't look any different from day one with this busted up camera, but it definitely, I can feel in the center of my locks that there's definitely matting and some, I guess, budding. And I don't know, I mean, I've seen, different YouTubers talking about their budding, and I noticed that a lot of their budding is at the end of their locks. And the ends of my locks are still very soft and curly. I don't really know if I can show you with this terrible camera. Let's see. It's curly. Still very curly and very open. I mean, I know it's only 4 months, so I'm not expecting, fully locked hair at this point. But yeah, so any type of matting or budding that I have is in the center of my locks, and everything else is just loose and wavy and doing its own thing. The only issue that I did have was I noticed actually maybe about a month ago, in between my retightenings, that I had one lock, at the root was very thin, and it was like I had a bud, it had matted, and where the new growth was very thin. I don't know if it was because it had started to bud and it was a thin lock that it was like putting too much tension on it. I don't really know, but either way, I combined it. I just twisted it with another small lock next to it, and that I hadn't had any issues with it. I didn't actually interlock it myself. So with this next with the appointment that I had just recently, I let my consultant know, and she was like, "Oh, good for you. I'm glad you were proactive about it." And she just, interlocked whatever I had retwisted, and it probably had already started to fuse together anyhow because it had been like a month. So, but yeah, I didn't have like any slippage or anything like that, or any major slippage. I'm sure I had some, but nothing where any of the locks have come out. And so I think I'm past that stage, hopefully, knock on wood. I didn't really have a lot to begin with, but yeah, so now my next project is trying to figure out what to do with my hair for my 30th, which is this coming weekend. I had tried a few do's that I'm not really in love with, so I'll continue to try. I have this week off. Like I said, I just finished school last week, and so I'm taking a little week off to recuperate because I had exams on Friday, and then this weekend was Memorial Day weekend, and I was partying with friends, and now I just need some me time in between before I start picking up shifts at my local hospital or whatever. So, yeah, I'll be experimenting with do's. I know my camera is very crappy, so I might just take pictures and upload them like one of a commenter suggested. I hopefully can figure out how to do that because I am not that YouTube savvy, but I'll look it up somehow or something. So anyhow, that's really the progress of my hair. I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend like I did. That's why my voice is gone. And I will talk to you guys later.